And scene. We're back.
Hi.
Hi. It's nice to see you.
I've missed you.
Terribly. And we've missed you. We are recording in one of the nicer La Quinta Inns I've been in my day.
Well,
What's your opinion about the La Quinta Inn?
the La Quinta. That's how I used to say it.
La
when I was a
Quinta.
kid. La Quinta, yeah. It's real nice.
It means whale's vagina in
Yes,
German.
Yes. Accurate.
Yes.
It's true. Well, our bathroom light, we can't turn off the light. Because if we turn it off, it doesn't come back on.
Only if you don't want it to come back on again.
Yes.
Right.
And our toilet, when you flush,
sings to us.
sings like a humpback whale.
And it gets louder.
It gets progressively louder.
Yeah.
It's like it knows that you want to talk, and
Right.
so it tries to drown you out.
I'm trying to explain something.
But it's literally for like a solid minute and a half. I'd say a solid 90 seconds.
It's impressive.
Because it happened, and then we stopped, and we're like,
Well, the best part was we drove up from Virginia up to Connecticut.
mm-hmm.
So for 6.5 hours, we listened to nothing but like the most haunted areas in the world podcast.
It was like a man reading ghost stories.
Yeah, it was awesome. But we immediately come into the hotel, which I didn't look up if it's haunted or not. It is rather inexpensive for the area.
It's true.
So we didn't look it up. But sure enough, like we're in here and the bathroom light doesn't turn on and the toilet
Sings.
like moaning Myrtle.
Like moaning murder.
So
Yeah. You just need the drapes to like.
I give it on a
swaying.
scale of 1 to 10.
Our air conditioner turns on at random.
Well, I mean, it's set on auto. It's just loud.
It turns on at random.
It's off
And
right now. If
it's
it
a
turns
little-
on, then it is haunted.
It's a little ridiculous because it seriously woke me up like 4 times in the night. Because it's not just like the whatever button, like the click over and then like it's.
No, it sounds like we're in a garage and the garage door is opening.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is an accurate
Thank you.
depiction.
Yes. God damn it. That's exactly what it sounds like. Are you in this room too? No, but it's been
But it's okay. It's backed up next to the greatest diner in American history. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, so the Stanford Diner
Is the tits.
is pretty fantastic. We have eaten there 3 times. We have not been here 24 hours quite yet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a problem.
it is pretty awesome because the diner actually has an entrance in the lobby.
Yes. But
So if you
everything's
turn,
closed.
but everything is very closed.
They're very rude here. Well, not just like
It's the north. But what's
but
interesting is
it's
that
the
they're
north,
not. But I think it's north, and it's also a cheaper hotel.
that it's very
Because-
there's been a couple New York things. Like when you walked in the diner last night, it's like, hey, look
Hey,
at
look at this guy! Like I was holding up the door holding the
Yeah.
door open for some folks, because that's what humans do.
Yeah.
And they were just very excited about it.
Yeah.
But it was nice because we had just come out of a rather unpleasant interactions with folks, like in the lobby, like everybody. It seems like
Well, it's rather okay. So I grew up in Chicago,
right.
and perhaps it must have been frog in a boiling water type situation of just the way that everybody was.
For sure,
You
you
say I was a blunt instrument when we first met.
yeah, it was like a punch in the jaw. Yeah,
That's very rude.
yeah, I would demonstrate hand motions of what it was like speaking, but yeah, no, it was like very much like we're gonna tell you exactly how it is.
Yeah, but wait, it is who I get that from my father.
Totally.
But it's how I am. I don't believe in bullshit, and I don't believe in sugarcoating things. And
Right.
you have come from the literal antithesis of my upbringing in so many ways.
I am a professional sugarcoating bullshitter,
Yes, you are a professional bullshitter.
but only if it like is politically necessary.
right, which
because
you
if
are
you-
very versatile.
Because folks that like hear us talk on the podcast, folks that hear me like share opinions in areas where I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. They're taken aback.
Yeah, I don't think that would be it. But like, for instance, one of our friends, like, I had a rather unpleasant exchange with another person who I don't know. But I was put in a position where I was apparently the person that was deemed to be the authority figure.
What is this?
So to be complained to. I don't know how many folks. I just don't want to. So somebody was complaining about something. I was deemed to be the person in charge. So therefore, I was then the one to be complained to about this. And so
you were the recipient,
right, of said complaint, right? And this is like certainly not something I'm new to, having come from schools and being in administration. What people don't understand is that it's like for a principal, they don't just have like parents whining to them, but they have teachers that are whining to, like, they have everybody. Everybody's complaining. But anyway,
the lunch lady.
Everyone that has a complaint, right, it's going to come back to the principal. And if you're shitty at your job, like, that's just the way it goes. But even if you're good at your job, like, that's part of the job. It's just you are going to be complained to. So you get good at dealing with that and being able to manage people that are unhappy, especially in, like, the experience that I had in private schools. It's a really weird power dynamic of what people pay to have their children go there. So they kind of, like, own you, which is very unpleasant, and why I don't do that anymore. But I was getting complained to, and so I needed to make sure that the folks that actually are in a place of authority, which wasn't me, I just was handling the situation, to make sure that they were aware, were aware. So I forwarded that back and forth, that those text messages. And so our friend, he was just like, Brent goes, he's like, your text messages were awesome. He's like, I laughed so hard knowing how you probably wanted to respond. And he's like, and the fact is that, like, you could not have handled it better. Right. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, it's no thing. Like, it's no big deal.
Well,
but it's because I was learning.
Like, for our friends, I think they get baffled that it's like, oh, you handled
you're
this like
capable of, like, restraint.
Yeah.
Because I don't show a lot of it.
Yeah.
But to get back, not to completely derail, but it's like, I am a professional sugarcoating bullshitter because of the family I was raised in.
And I'm not.
Because of the family you were raised in.
Right. We're very much type that it's like, if you're stupid and you're being stupid, we're going to let you know. That
it's like, why are you being so fucking stupid? It's like, Amy, you can't talk to grandma like that. That is disrespectful. You cannot. She's old. She can barely walk. She's going to forget who you are in moments. You cannot talk to grandma.
I like
no.
grandma.
Yes.
But no, but I've lived in the South now apparently too long because we've come back up here. And, like, what's so funny is when we were stopping in New Jersey, there were signs where it's not even, like, there's so many signs now. It's like, you know, to reduce the transmission of COVID, we ask kindly that you
You're talking about in the South.
Yeah. Like,
so where we're
like,
from
please,
in Virginia,
please
these are the signs.
You know, please retain 6 feet distance and practice, you know, all the blah blah blah. It's like a very polite here it's just do not enter for any reason, and it's like bathrooms are closed because of COVID, and it's just like everything's like blamed on COVID. Here there's signs like you can't come in this pool because of COVID. It's
all caps.
Yeah,
they're yelling at you.
They're not like
via sign.
They don't apologize, and there's a sign, and both the people, which drives me nuts. But see, I was still raised in a restaurant where when people would come up and it's like there's a greeting, like, and it drives you nuts because there would literally be people come up, it's like, give me a damn hot dog.
Oh Lord, when we were working at the caboose, what the fuck,
literally how they would order,
give me a damn hot dog.
It's
like I literally don't know what to say right now. I'm so flat. I am flummoxed. I am flabbergasted by your rudeness. Like, dude, we're going to fucking drag our balls across your hot dog.
Yes.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, how is that how you address anyone?
No, but that for sure. But even growing up there, my parents were always big on, like, just simple niceties.
Right.
It drives me nuts in the South, or like it drives me nuts. So if my parents call, or if I call my parents, as soon as they answer the phone, I'm like, hey, I need this. Can you do this? Or whatever, or vice versa. When your family calls, it's a 25-minute conversation about bullshit that doesn't matter until you get to like the thing that you want to discuss. And that drives me
Yes.
nuts. But my parents were always big still on like niceties. It's as
Right.
they're coming, it's hello, how are you? How can I help you?
Let's
And
place a business.
Right, and vice versa. Thank you for coming. Have a pleasant day. Like all these things.
Now, I would tell you that has not been our experience at the diner.
No.
The diner's been quite pleasant.
That's the reason we've been back 3 times.
This is true.
And they have rugulash and baklava. Holy shit, their baklava.
It was very good. Everything's been fantastic.
It was like Dolores's.
Yeah, Tyler, except like their portions are impressive.
They're hefty.
So it was pretty funny when Tyler, because I talked to Tyler. So one of our friends that we work with is Tyler Stone.
Dr. Stone.
Yep, Tyler Effin Stone on Instagram. You can follow him and have a gay old time. But the reality is that I asked Tyler, I'm like, Tyler, do you want to get breakfast? Do you want to get breakfast or do you just want to do coffee in the morning, whatever? And he's like, no, just coffee for me. And so sure enough, we get in the diner, and the diner's fucking awesome. And he sees the menu. He's like, well, goddamn. So he's like, all right, I'll get some steel-cut oats. So my guess is he's probably not a breakfast person.
Mm-hmm.
But so he still orders something because everything looks fantastic. And what he ends up getting is a trough of oatmeal.
Well, I think, okay.
It was an impressive amount of oatmeal. Like it
was.
for sure was 2 cups of dry oats.
It was a lot. But I also have Henry, who literally could eat that and then some. Like, because I used to give Henry a little bit of oatmeal. Yeah. And he'd ask for seconds and then third. Like, the boy loves oatmeal.
Yeah.
So when they brought that out, like, in my brain, I'm like,
that's a reasonable bowl.
Yeah,
it was a big bowl. It was a big bowl.
But, yeah, Dr. Stone was...
He was not mentally prepared
aback.
to have, like, a small food baby at 9 a.m. of oats.
Well, I was, too, because I don't eat breakfast either.
Yeah.
Like, should I jiggle my arm fat? My arm fat has arm fat
You
right
have
now.
walked out of there like twice, and I've seen you just be like jiggling your arm.
I swear, I'm like, I
just those bacon and eggs went straight to my triceps.
Because I'm not used to eating a whole lot.
Right.
But it's like, and I always feel bad too, where it's just like, I'm going to sit down at a diner and order water.
True.
It's like, no, we'll just have a cup of coffee and a water. And it's like, God damn it, you're taking up one of my tables. And
We're
you're
going to
order water. But see, also, I think I'm snake bitten because when we were teenagers, we could never do that. We were not allowed to go into places and order water.
Oh, sure.
Every person that was in your party that was a teenager had to order food or they would get kicked out.
Oh, because just being a bunch of little shitbags just like hanging out.
Even though we weren't. I remember one time we went into a Steak and Shake and we tried to play, we brought a deck of cards because we were going to have like cheeseburgers and like play rummy or whatever.
Right.
This was a rockin' Saturday night.
That sounds like a really good time.
And they wouldn't let us do it. Like, you have to eat your...
It was just because you were teenagers. Like, if you and I wanted to play, like, fucking double solitaire while we were eating our dinner, they wouldn't say a goddamn thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm snake bitten by that. But...
It's a ghost.
That is a ghost.
It's a ghost. I'm telling you that it sounds like we're not going out in the hallway. Because it sounds like there's a party out there, but it's a bunch of bloody-eyed...
beheaded...
children.
Yes.
Running around.
Yes. No, but
playing with us.
We come in the hotel, and it's just... the people behind the desk, not just one lady, like multiple ladies. It's just like, I hate my life and don't fucking look at me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hi, how are you? And they just stare at you. Okay, their breakfast? Is there breakfast?
Yeah. No, and that's what's like, but the reality was, the reason why I said it might be because, like, this is, like, obviously the less expensive, poorer part of the street. Because you drive down the street and make a left and get the Tyler's Hotel. Everyone's quite pleasant.
Yes. But his hotel is...
it's much nicer.
It's super fancy.
But that's what we're saying.
But... no, so we're here. It's been a lovely day.
No, but
I have realized heavily that I could never live in these parts.
In the city.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get visible anxiety.
You've done good. It's been big. Like, there's been big things
John,
today.
I had to talk to people that I don't know, like a lot of people.
Yeah, so we understand kind of the context. So we have an awesome client that we work with that owns a gym up here in Stanford, Connecticut. And we've worked with them now for well over 6 months plus.
Mr. Delacamera.
Yes, Delacamera. So CrossFit Stanford, and so that's where Tyler, Amy, and I and our teams all work together and work with Nick and his team, and it's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just been, we've crushed it for what his goals are for gym, and we're re-upping, and so we're excited because I got to do a big event, and that's what we wanted to do. We got to come up and surprise him, and it was awesome. When you think of like, there's like the movie is like, oh, there's like all these plans and all these things are put together, and like you hope it goes well, and then everything like falls apart at the end, and nothing is successful, and it's kind of like, oh, it's like that wasn't this at all.
It was the opposite of that.
Like everything that we wanted to do, where we wanted to surprise him, we wanted to come up and have everything work out. Like nothing could have gone better.
And he's a good person.
Yeah, and they're great people.
It's nice when good people have good.
And the last time we were up here, we really didn't get to interact with him. We didn't know him very well.
No.
And we were here a few years ago.
He's very kind.
Very. But it's been awesome.
Yeah.
But we did pick an event where there are hundreds of people, which is your literal nightmare.
And there was dancing.
There was lots of dancing.
There was Latin dancing.
We didn't have to do said Latin dancing as much as it would have been.
But there were
exciting.
like loud sounds. Thank God there were puppies.
There were puppies.
Because if there were not puppies, I would have struggled.
My favorite part of the day, though, is we're talking, and this is like it's what puppies do. Puppies have a power, and this is whether you're talking about puppies as a nickname for titties or literal puppies. I think they both have the same power.
Okay.
In my opinion, I'm getting there. Is that early in the day we're talking about dogs, and Dr. Stone is just like, we're never getting a fucking dog again. And he explains. Yeah. He explains that they had all this drama and things that really got them just jammed up, and that they couldn't, and a dog was just incredibly, there's thousands of dogs, all these problems, right? All these things that just don't mesh with what he's got going on. And so we see some rescue dogs come in. You and I go and we play with one that's a puppy, still got the soft skin and the puppy breath and stuff or whatever. And so we're on the other side of the gym. Now Tyler's doing shit around the gym, running around, sweating all over the place and doing things. And you and I are chatting or whatever. And so Tyler is beelining his way towards us. Mm-hmm. And so my eyes lock with his, and he's walking up, and he comes up. And so he gets up. I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he goes, guys, there are puppies here. And I'm like, uh-huh. He's like, no, like there's puppies. Like we need to go. Have you seen? It's like, yeah, we saw him. He goes, I think I'm getting a farm. I think I'm gonna get a puppy.
Went from I don't want a farm.
Like I don't want dogs.
I'm too lazy.
Right. I don't.
Dogs are too much of a commitment to. Screw it. My grandpa has some land. I'm getting a farm.
And I need these fucking kids to get out of there so I can go pet the puppies and not have it be weird. And so sure enough, the kids get away, and he's picked up the puppy. He has the puppy on a box, so he doesn't have to bend over, and he's playing with the puppy. Right? He finally gets his moment where he gets to play with the puppy. But it was so it's amazing puppy power. So that's why puppies are titties. It's the same thing. You'd be like, I swear titties off, and then titties are like, bam. You're like, oh, guys, anybody else see these titties? You see them? See these puppies?
That's inappropriate.
It's not inappropriate. It's realistic. It's science.
Okay, what are we talking about?
Nothing. Today is just we are just talking about coming up, and maybe we can tie in a topic because I have a topic, but it was mainly just wanted to be able to kind of just get an episode, talk about what we were doing, but a topic that I've mentioned that we wanted to be able to touch on, and we'll do it quickly, is coming up here. It wasn't originally in the plan. It was kind of throwing something quickly together. We're like, this would be awesome to get up there. And we kind of threw up something where we wanted to be able to kind of have a gift or whatever to be able to bring up to them and make it a big thing. But like, it's not super easy for you to be able to adjust quickly and be like, yeah, let's like,
no,
it's like we haven't not been busy.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of sliding this in, but a lot of the things that we've been doing lately have been taking a lot of our time. So I've been starting to help coach and just kind of getting ready for school and all these things, and it just takes work.
Yeah.
And I think to get up here, it's not like it was a 6.5 hour drive to get up here, whatever. There have been a lot of excuses not to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
We easily could have been like, no, we can't do it. But the right thing to do was to get up here because it was too good of a circumstance to not pass up. And where I'm driving is like it's one of the things that you and I have talked about a lot lately is folks seem to be where they want things to be different or they want things to be a certain way. But that next step that requires like literal action or work or what I call oftentimes is sweat equity.
Mm-hmm.
That's the piece where it's like, yeah, like I want these things to be different. Or I want my community to be different. Or I want to make a difference. Or I want to do this. But like, it's like, okay, well, great. So what are you doing about it? It's like, well, I don't have any time.
Yeah. But it's realistic and it's not. Like, I think people have good intentions.
Sure.
And the fact that they even use brain power to think of like, how can I make this better? Like, this would be my plan and I want to do this and I want to do this.
But I think there's a literal saying that says like the pathway to hell is paved in good intentions. Like, there's a literal saying about
deep.
that. Yeah, you're welcome.
John.
It's not mine. I mean, I'll take it.
You could make
if it makes you.
I've never heard that. That's
yeah, I mean, if it makes you proud of me.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think the difference is that people have these grandiose ideas of how to make things better.
Yeah.
And one thing being married to you, because I'm one of those as well, where I suffer greatly from analysis paralysis, and I'm a perfectionist, and I have to have plan A all the way to plan Z, like figured out like, okay, I'm going to do this, and if this doesn't work, I'll do this, and if this doesn't work, I'll do this. And never ever in life is that how it works. But being married to you is you are very much do now, think later type person.
Yeah.
So it's just like, we're going to do it, and then we'll just ask questions later and we'll figure it out. And I'm the opposite. It's why we work well together.
Right.
Is because I can keep you from like jumping off a cliff, but you help push me off the cliff a little bit more than what I would be comfortable with, in the sense that it's, you just start. So it's in terms of sweat equity and like putting in work, it can be equated to so many things. Because I see this all the time, like in the fitness community and the Facebook group that I'm in, where it's like people, they'll take a picture of like, well, here's my map for the week. And it's like, these are the days I'm going to work out, and this is the time, and I have it planned out, and I'm going to do it. And of course, it never, ever comes to fruition that way. And then you feel like a failure because of it.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, if you want something to be different, just start somewhere.
It's, and really maybe also underestimating the amount of work that's going to need to be put into something. So definitely it's something that like I think you run into all the time. You run into where it's like this is no big deal. This will take me 30 minutes.
I have this problem a lot when we're moving or like doing projects.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm like, we'll plan an hour here, and then we'll do this project, and this will take 2 hours, and we'll whatever. And this
is oftentimes where you'll be like, okay, how long do you think this is going to take? And I'll be like, 4 days. Mm-hmm. You're like, what? I'm like, no, like 4 days. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like a couple hours. I'm like, yeah, no, it won't take that. Mm-hmm. And it's like but for me, it's just, it's understanding, but this is also where that's where the work gets done, is being willing to put in that sweat equity. And we're definitely feeling that now, right? It's with the boys wanting to play more sports. Henry's now wanting to play football, so it opens up another sport. And now this is a sport that I have some experience in. Mm-hmm. So I definitely feel more obligated to be able to be now directly involved. Mm-hmm. And so now I am coaching a lot. And the fact is that it's just a ton of work. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like it's so much work. And it's like, yeah. Yes, that's it is. But if you want something to be different, if you want something to change, if you're unhappy the way it goes, then it just takes work. There actually isn't a quick way around that.
But I think our generation is the most guilty of it, is because we have lived a life where there has been no need for work. Everything has been convenienced somehow.
Sure.
And that's like, we're the epitome of the generation of like, we work smarter, not harder. It's why every other generation hates us.
Yeah.
Is because and it has its benefits. Is we looked at what our parents did or what our grandparents did, and it's like, wait, why did you do it that way? And they're like, you need to start somewhere. You need to work your way up the totem pole.
The generation Y, I think it got its original.
Right.
Like you ask why. You
Right.
ask why all the goddamn time.
And it has its benefits. There are things that we have figured out how it's, no, I'm not going to just start at the bottom of the totem pole and just be a grunt because it's what needs to happen. Like, I can work smarter and I can do this and this and this differently.
Right.
To be able to advance my situation or ease the tension of a situation or whatever the goal is I can do this better than the way it's currently done. Whereas I believe previous generations are very much like they get taught, this is how you do the thing. You come in, you do the thing, and you go home. And if you do this long enough, maybe you can move up to management.
And it's important. It's important to be able to kind of see those differences or ways you could change things or way you can do them better. But eventually, you need to actually do the work.
And that's the problem, is there's nothing in our lives right now that actually requires work. Even going to work is too much.
Well, yeah, now we have to be like, can I just stay at home and let's like be on Zoom?
Yeah, now, I mean, talk about like getting comfortable with it's like, I have to like get dressed and drive in my car to an office. Like, no, I don't want to do that. And again, there are benefits. It is our generation that has figured out like, okay, COVID, we can figure out how to work smarter and make this function. Like, that's been our generation and younger generations that have figured that out. Because if it was other ones, it'd just be like, well, this is the way we've done it forever. And the fact that we can't do it that way means there's a problem. It's like, no, we're going to figure this out. But for sure, we are inept at actually doing work. We're very ideas focused. We're very theoretical. We love sitting around and discussing.
Philosophizing.
Yes.
Sure.
But it's pendulum swing, right?
Without a doubt.
For sure. But it's finding that middle ground of philosophizing, but also being willing to just get your hands dirty. And nobody wants to do that anymore. Yeah,
put your head down. And I think it comes down to a lot of is to not have this get drawn out too fast because we have got a dinner to go to. But
is it at the diner?
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Is this the number 4?
But if we'd like get super
John,
dressed up.
I did not pack my fat pants. Can I interject for just a moment?
Please.
It's been, well, we had COVID, right? So like literally getting dressed was like dressing up for me during COVID.
Oh, right.
Our whole family's naked, just like literally all the time.
Like outside as well. Like naked blueberry picking. And
our
vegetable,
boys, it's a problem.
It's
a problem. But no, like I haven't looked like a lady in a hot minute.
Okay.
I just started wearing makeup again to go out, like whatever it was, a couple weeks ago, right?
Yep.
So this has been the first trip where I'm like, okay, what do I need to pack? I'm like, do I need to bring the sexy shoes? And you said yes.
Bring all the sexy shoes.
Yes. But like, I didn't bring, so we've had three meals at the diner. We're going somewhere for number 4.
Right.
And I so did not bring fat pants. I have all the like before I had children back of the closet clothes that I'm not sure even fit.
You didn't even like bring up backup like maternity jeans?
No, I have some sucky underwear, like the Lycra.
Yeah.
Like we'll just take.
I guess wear them all.
Wear
all the Lycra.
Take away your ability to breathe. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, wrap it up.
I don't even know what I was saying before.
Okay.
Now I'm just thinking about you with sexy shoes.
And my Lycra underwear.
And your Lycra underpants.
It's not a good sight. So, no, you're saying, so not to get it too drawn out, putting in the work.
Yeah, I'll just finish that thought because I can't remember what it was, where I was going specifically. But it's just that there is no substitute for just putting in that work.
Yeah.
And being able to do those things. And the fact is that, it's what we talk about all the time, where it's so many things are convenient.
Mm-hmm.
So many things are built to just truly make us super comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same joke that, as Tyler said, he goes like, I'm kind of selfish and I don't want to do things that are like chores or work.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to just party and not to do any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But it is one of the beauties of like planting a garden or having animals, or for us having our chickens, where it's like, you have to go out and you have to do these things.
Yeah.
And then what it turns into where I have to go fucking do this. It's, oh, look at the sunflower.
Yeah.
And there's tomatoes. That's awesome. And then it's like God damn it. You know what? Like the ground, look how good that looks.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago, I weed whipped that for fucking 7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks really good. Like it turns from, God, I have to do this.
The fruits of your labor.
It
so
is.
Speak, yeah.
But it's like one of those things where it's even more immediate. And it's like, and it's the same thing where it's coaching and being out there and working, where you have kids that are smiling, are having a good time, or whatever it is. And you know that they're there instead of being somewhere else.
It scratches an itch that you don't know you have until you're doing it.
And I think that's everyone. Not even, and that's, I think it's in all of us. I think it's in all people.
Yeah.
Because I think that is an evolutionary thing.
Yeah.
The evolutionary drive to create and have pride, I think it's very much tied to like our desire to have like fucking have kids.
Yeah.
Is like, that's mine. I made that. I made that right there. And I'm proud of that thing that I just made. Because I put in work. God damn it. And we talk about it with Henry. Henry, you're not allowed to fucking die.
Yeah.
Because we have worked so hard to keep you alive.
Yeah.
You little asshole.
Yes.
Like, like nobody else is allowed to kill you. And you're not allowed to do something stupid that ends your shit.
Yes.
Because it's been so much work. But there's so much pride. And this is what you kind of go like, start doing the boohoo mama thing. Because it's like, they do something adorable, or they do something sweet, or they do something where it's just like, they're so big. I'm so proud of them. But it's because it's like, it's just insane amounts of work.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
But I think
amounts of sweat equity. And that's where it's like, it's no fucking surprise that either the garden is doing well, or the stuff, or they're alive, or they're doing the right things, or there's certain things that are happening.
But they have it, and to have it with kids as well. So just with you with coaching, it's the amount of work that the boys put in when Jack gets a hit.
Right.
Or when Mike, catches a pop fly, or he's able to, like, he's currently working on doing the splits at first base so he can keep his damn foot on the bat. Like, it's when he can do the stuff, there is an element of pride. And I think that people need that. I think that people go through the motions so much and are constantly looking for ways to just
shortcut it.
It's I don't have enough time. I hate my job. I hate my kids. I hate my life. I want to do the laziest thing possible because I'm so freaking mentally exhausted. And what's so ironic is that the cure for that seems to be work. It seems to be doing something that you take pride in doing, that even if it sucks and even if it's inconvenient, that when a good portion of it, when it comes to fruition in some way, whether it grows a tomato or it's your itty-bitty screaming newborn that finally like sleeps through the night or starts walking, it's like, this is the proudest moment of my entire life. Like, it's people need those wins.
Yeah.
They need to see, because most people have jobs where they never get that satisfaction.
True.
Where they're just grunts and they're just punching a clock. And kids sure as shit aren't going to show you appreciation and gratitude. And see, that's what I've talked about a lot with being a mom. Is like the hardest part for me, because I thrive on feedback. I was the straight A student that I needed to see as soon as I took the math test. Okay, I got a 96. Okay, damn it. That means I missed 2 questions. What questions did I miss?
Right.
How can I fix it? Like, I thrive on immediate feedback. And the hardest part with me being a mom is because I so heavily weigh so many decisions. I don't know how bad I'm fucking them up until 30 years from now. I think I'm doing the right thing, and I think I'm going down the right path.
Yeah.
But I may be totally screwing up my kids. Like, there's no feedback.
But the reality is that statistically speaking, and looking at all of the kids,
they're screwed up anyway.
Exactly.
I know. That's
no. The fact is that it's if you're just making the effort,
right? It matters. But
that's all that matters. You just have to make the goddamn effort. You have to just do it. And I felt like there was like a big ad campaign for years, certainly where I was in Southern California, where it was like for foster parents or adoptive parents.
Yeah. And
it was this campaign where it's just like, just do your best.
Yeah.
Like you just need to do your best, and that is more than enough. That's what they and that's just it. It's like don't sell your kids, don't rape your kids,
don't cook them and eat them.
Like it's just like those three.
Yeah.
Don't sell them, don't rape them, don't cook them and eat them. Mm-hmm. And it's like just fucking make an effort to give us just an iota of a shit about them.
Yeah.
And but that's all the things.
Yeah.
Just give a shit about something that's not yours, and that's where that sweat equity thing comes in, where it's just it is.
People need those wins.
Yeah, and it starts right
from a fundamental psychological standpoint of people need to be appreciated. It's like Maslow's hierarchy, like the most fundamental things. It's like food and shelter, but then it's like love,
right,
and like appreciation, like those
but
things.
It's like, and it's pride in what you do.
Yes.
And that's where like Tyler can make the joke as much as he wants of like I don't want to do those things because it's like chores and like gross and I hate that, and it's like you're playing the role. But the fact is that the reason why I continue to work with Tyler and we work with him is that he's good at what he does because he takes pride in what he does, and he cares. Because if he didn't care, then wouldn't be somebody that we would work with.
Right.
And so the reality is like and that's exactly what those things are. Is that, oh man, like I have to fucking create these things. Like I got to do this work. And I guarantee that's a part of it. But then it's done. And today, so he has to make these fucking posters. He has to make these posters. And sure enough, it's like, Tyler, are those the posters? He's like, yeah, like they came out pretty fucking sweet, right? It's like, yes, they did. Like there's that pride where it's like that came out awesome.
Yeah.
And that is so many of the things. So it's where so that's
why Ron Swanson did woodworking.
Yes.
In Parks and Rec.
Right.
It's the same. I hate my 9-to-5 job, but it's finding something that I can put my sweat into that matters.
Yeah, and I think that is maybe the thing we try and close off with, like that finishing thought where it's like it's don't underestimate the value of sweat equity.
Yeah, just work.
And if you don't have one of those things, then start thinking about what can you do that is a little bit of sweat. Yeah. That is just enough to make you a little bit uncomfortable because it starts as simple as like making your goddamn bed. Yeah. Because it's like, oh, okay. I made that. Nice. I fucking did that. Yeah, that's good. I did that. I made fire. Yeah. I did that.
Yeah. And I think it's learning to have a realistic expectation that it's not going to be, not only is it not going to be perfect, but it likely won't be the way you envision it to begin with, and that plans are stupid. And that it doesn't have to have, because I struggle with this so much, it doesn't have to have the super methodical, because every mentor we've ever had has said the same thing. You know, it's not like we'll go in there and put in your blood, sweat, and tears. It's just presented in a way of like, just do it. Like good is good enough. Yeah. So it's just put it out there. Yeah. Start somewhere. Do something that moves you anywhere in any direction that's from where you are.
It's like, go somewhere. It can't be this, or like, oh, we can't have the goats, and we can't have pigs, and we can't have this. Like, like we'll just wait.
Yeah, we're just not going to farm it all. Yeah.
It's like, well, no,
you can do. Yeah.
So find those things. Find whatever it is that you can start putting some effort into
that you enjoy. Yeah, that's supposed to be a joyful experience.
Yeah, don't just if you go through the motions.
It has such a negative connotation. Sweat equity, like I don't want to do work. I don't want to sweat and put my heart and soul in something. But it's like, it just is. Whether it's, you're coaching right now, because our sons are playing, but like you want to help the community.
Yes.
You there's something about working with the underdog. There's something about working with kids who have had less opportunity.
Yeah.
Less experience, less whatever. That speaks deeply to you, and a lot of the coaching is a fuck ton of work.
Yeah.
And it's not easy work, but the reason that you do it is because you do have that desire to assist. And that is such a loaded thing, because it could be like, well, you know, in our area, it's, you know, there's kids that like aren't graduating high school and they come from these rough families and they do whatever, and it's like, this is a problem, you're not going to fix it. It's like, but I can just start. Like, I can help who is in my presence right now, on my team, just being there, just doing something.
But see, that's and we're going to talk. I promise we're going to talk on this topic more, but it's that attitude of like, well, the kids in our area, they struggle with graduation, or they struggle with this and they struggle with that. And it's like, you know, and it's a problem.
Yeah. It's like period. Yeah.
Okay.
So what are we going to do?
So what are we going to fucking do about it?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's like, well, you know, it's this or that. Or it's just like, no, the rest of that is just goddamn excuses.
Right. But it's again, the sweat equity of just putting in work, doing something that allows any difference to be made.
Right. And
whether it's through a hobby, whether it's through benevolent action.
But you can learn how those little actions, like you said, those little things, right, they can build up so much. It's the same idea where the hardest thing, we got to close, but it's the hardest thing for me. It's like you talk to young men that are starting to like lift weights for the first time, and they want to get stronger and they want to get stronger. So, and it's like, but reframing their thinking, where it's like, you realize that if you just increase what you're lifting 1 pound every day, you will have 30 pounds that you lifted at the end of the month. Now, that's not a lifting routine to follow, because you're not going to be able to do that forever. But the reality is that it's like, it's just tiny increments, guys. To where if you just put on 25 pounds every year, in 4 years, you could go from a 300-pound bench press to a 400-pound bench press.
Yeah.
But just by doing it right. And it's massive.
Yeah.
And it's just these things where, like, you can do things that are massive if you just stop trying to, well, I want to lift right now. I want to start do it all right now. I want to do it all. It's like, no, it's like baby steps.
It takes time. And that's something.
And it's time under, and this is good because this will lead into it, of sweat equity and time under tension.
Yeah.
And time under pressure.
Yeah.
Because because we do know some people in our community that think they need to do all the fucking things.
And do it right now.
And they're going to do it all right now, and we're going to do it all. And what happens is that if you don't have that time under tension, the same way that you can't walk into a 400 or 500-pound squat, you're going to get crushed by that weight.
Yeah.
And there's lots of people we know that throw a 500-pound squat up there that haven't squatted a day in their life, and they're like, no, well, we need to do this because like nobody else is going to do it, so this is why I got to do it. It's like, dude, you're going to get fucking crushed by that.
Yeah. And
it's like, well, I'm the only one, so I got to do it. And it's like, okay, you're about to be a martyr.
Yeah.
And in fact, what it's going to end up is like your body's just going to be mangled, and you're actually not going to solve the thing. In fact, you're going to actually cause problems because now everyone's going to think that squatting and weightlifting is now bad because you just fucked this whole thing up.
Right.
But it is, but it's those things. So we're going to talk about it on more, but it's this idea of definitely it's the importance of that sweat equity, the importance of doing something, not just stopping at that thought, and then but making sure that you do it
consistent with it,
smart and consistent
and incremental,
and build up to it. So
we have to go to gym.
Time to put on our sexy pants
/ fat pants underneath the lycra underwear.
Yeah.
John, I'm gonna have trouble.